All right, so Ronnie has a real chance to go green, green, green for the first time ever.
We've never had a 3 green.
Ronnie had a chance until he found out.
Whoops.
Until he found out some bad news when we went to make picks last week.
I forgot all about that. We had the same pick. Hello, everyone, and welcome in to the Players Meeting. And we are at episode number 19. This is a Win Dummies production. I'm your host, Lucas Deal. I am back from baby duty. It's never going to stop, but I got some time away today, so thank you to my wife. As always, I'm joined by the Dream Team, the one-time world champ, Chris Smith, a.k.a. Smitty, and the Step Pup Master, Mr. Ronnie Unruh. Good evening, fellas.
What's going on?
What's happening?
So we got some things to discuss in this episode, yeah? What are we getting into, Smitty?
Oh, we're going to glaze over AM Worlds a little bit, or Junior Worlds. We got some local Kansas kids playing in that. We're going to talk about 2 different A-tiers that had exciting finishes, and we're going to spend most of our time talking about the Disc Golf PT event in Krokhol, which was fabulous on all fronts. So, and then of course we got to do our picks and talk about picks from last week and see who did good and who did bad.
Oh yeah. I can't remember how I did. I don't think I did as good this week. I am 2 weeks in a row I've been the winner. I just want everyone to remember that. That's me. That didn't happen. So we'll see if the trend will continue this week. I'm hoping it does. But let us start where we always start. What's poppin'? Let's start with a little bit of local stuff. Smitty, let's start there.
Yeah, we got the Junior Worlds coming up in Tulsa. It's not necessarily close to us, but we got a lot of local kids heading that way. Here's a list of what we got from Wichita there in the MJ18. We have Canton Taylor, Devin Jones, who's from Arc City area, Simeon Davenport from just outside of Newton, Milo in MJ15, who's from Emporia but comes to Wichita quite often and plays, JoJo, who had, I think, the hottest round on Disc and Deals coverage so far this year.
Yep.
Feel like JoJo's got a good shot at getting up there and in the mix. MJ12, we got Gideon, who everybody knows and when they see him, and Jackson Taylor, who I haven't seen in a little bit. He'll be out there flicking his way around Tulsa for sure. Hudson, who we all know, little dude. Steven O'Brien, who came down to play the team challenge. He was part of Team Manhattan. And then Danny Beatrice, who tried to sneak in to the show, acting like his dad.
That's right.
So, but no, these kids, man, they're amazing. We had one kid, Lucas Carmichael, swing through and play a league on Friday on his way to Tulsa. His uncle, Ty, lives here in town. And that kid is good. He destroyed me. So he got, in one round, he got birdies on holes that people in Wichita only dream of getting birdies on. He birdied 5 and 8 at Millbrook in the same round.
It's a good double up.
Yeah, and he didn't miss 8 by too much. He almost rang that sucker up.
And that's in deep.
Oh yeah,
Long thing.
Yeah,
Impressive.
I looked at his long drive results from yesterday, and he only threw 526 feet, and got beat by almost 200 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that son of a gun throw that thing, man. That's so far. That's so far. So, yeah. So, Junior Worlds is kicking off. I'll be watching it all week. I kind of planned on maybe going up there. I don't know if I'm going to swing that or not. I got a lot of other things going on this week with our doodah planning meeting, and then I'm going to kick Schaefer's butt in the Wample and win that again. And, yeah, it's going to be a busy week.
Yeah, well, let me know if you go up. I'll go with you.
Yeah, right.
I will. I'll make it work. I really want to see. I want to see a round at least.
Those babies ain't coming with me. I'm not listening to that for several hours.
I'm escaping for a second, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. So, in other news, we had a fundraiser event here in Wichita for Tyson Jones. And like I always say, man, disc golfers are some of the most giving people that you'll ever meet. This is an early picture of the raffle items. I know when I got there, this table was completely full, and there was towels and shirts and whatever on top of the boxes. There's a basket somewhere in there. And according to Kenny, who organized the whole thing, they were able to give Tyson around $4,000. So
pretty amazing. Yeah,
that should go go somewhere towards helping medical bills and whatever. But yeah, dude, I've never ceased to be amazed at what disc golfers will just do to support their own. So
yeah, happens. I mean, it happens all the time. Happens every year for the food drives that you've coordinated. Anytime one of our own, something like this comes up, man, somebody will organize something, and next thing you know, you'll have a whole chunk of cash going to help somebody out. So it's always that way, and I feel the same way. It's always inspiring to know that when we need to, we can manage to rally together.
Yeah, and yeah, just crazy, and other things too. Like funding for courses, funding for signs, whatever. Just I'm so happy to be part of this stupid disc golf family that we have all over the world. So it's pretty cool. Should we get into some big disc golf?
Let's talk about it.
The big boys, most of them were across the pond, of course, playing the Disc Golf PT deal. Disc Golf Pro Tour, yeah, PT. But we did have something semi-local to us, the Kansas City Wide Open. You ever played that, Ronnie?
Man, it's been 20 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I played it a couple times. I once aced in Dave Feldberg's face at Waterworks. That felt great.
Hey, you don't even play that anymore.
Dude, Waterworks was so awesome 10 years ago. These guys would flat annihilate that today.
The game, I mean, it's still my all-time favorite golf course, but it's not relevant for what the game that these guys play these days. It's just too small.
And it got smaller with the walking path they put through the park. So, and that weaves in and out of some very important fun holes. So it goes right down the middle of hole 6, which was the one that went back towards the water treatment plant. So, and by the Terrapin station there. So that's all, I'm guessing, off limits to them. So that's too bad. But according to Kevin Babbitt, the course they played today this weekend, he said he had an absolute blast.
Yeah, what one was it? Bad Rock, Bad Creek? What's it called?
You're playing at Bad Rock.
Yeah, Bad Rock for this.
Well, that's a statement if Babbitt's saying he had fun, because I saw his scores, so it must be enjoyable to play.
Yeah, well,
he didn't score very well.
No, I mean, that even yesterday though, when he was 9 up, it was right under 1,000 rated.
Yeah, it's hard. It's obviously hard.
So,
I've drove by it on my travels through there, but I've never had. It's so far off the highway. By the time I got up there, I didn't even have time to really jump out and do anything. But I took a peek.
Yeah, I'm going to pull this up. He and I were chatting back and forth just a little bit, and I said, "Yeah, I need to get up there. I need to play that one and Black Hoof. Is that the one that you play that you like?"
It's great.
Yeah.
He said, he said this one's more fun to play. He says hard-wise, they're the same. That one's work. This one's like a walk in the park. So,
Black Hoof is, I mean, I'll say that. I haven't had a chance to play Bad Rock, but Black Hoof, man, it's so challenging. And someone who's, you know, limited from a distance perspective, like, you know, I am, like you are. I mean, I can, you know, maybe touch 425 feet, but there's just not any birdies to be had, dude. You feel like you're like Kevin said, you feel like you're always working. You're always working. Every score is difficult to come by.
Yeah. Yeah. But he said this was a blast. So let's get into it. Let's kind of see what happened here. So one of the main stories was we had Drew versus Silas coming into this week. Last week, they both dropped disc records. One was good and the other was terrible.
I like that Drew tried, though. I like that he tried to come back.
I wish he just wouldn't have tried. He was better off. He looked better by not trying.
Yeah, he was pretty bad. Silas's was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I thought Silas's was pretty dope myself. I was like,
I like that.
Not only was his timing and his delivery good, but the lyrics were good. It's not the first time he's done something like that, would be my guess.
Oh, for sure.
No. If you guys get bored, listen to all the new Slim Shady stuff. It's
already happened.
I've already listened to a bit.
And heard every Knox Hill breakdown I can.
Yeah, that dude's so awesome. But anyhow, the ladies' side, Lisa gave it up on a hole 16. She took a 6 and Owen passed her up. Owen returned the favor and never did catch up. So Lisa ended up winning by 1 stroke. That's about all I need to know about it. That's all that there really is to know about this. I was shocked that Owen was there. Actually, she's not going to European Open at all. So, but you can see that those two ladies just flat out ran away with it. And we were just speaking last week about how Rebecca Cox was pretty good, but not week in, week out, man.
It's relevant though. You know, it's relevant. She's good by comparison of the rest of the division, but is she good by, like we had this conversation, is she's a really good player, but is she good enough to compete with the best players in the world?
No.
It doesn't seem like she is every week. She's going to pop up and maybe finish on a podium or maybe even win one at some point, but you know, being able to consistently play with the best players in the world, she's just a tick below.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then the men's side. What we don't see here is that Silas won the rap battle. Silas won the first round. Silas did not win the second round. He went up big, 5 up. And then Silas won the third round. But in the big scheme of things, big old Drew edged Silas in the head-to-head battle and went into a playoff with GT Hancock from Texas after regulation. And Lucas and I had a little contest so you could figure out who won faster. And Lucas got me.
Got him. So Drew got it. 2-hole second playoff hole, which was hole 11. I just messaged Jerry, the TD, and he got right back to me. I figured he was going to be busy, but he was quick to get to me. So thank you, Jerry Patterson, for the information, and congratulations to Drew there.
And this can all be watched post-production on Gatekeeper Media. I watched the first round. I'm probably not going to watch round 2, but I am going to go and watch round 3 tomorrow and see how that shook out. So
I actually have round 2 on in the background here while I chat with you guys. Watching Parker Welk play with frisbees he's never used before. So,
oh, speaking of the devil, nice segue, Ronnie.
What a segue!
Yeah, he's got video of somebody, Ring doorbell video of somebody taking his whip that included his discs in his car. Obviously, I heard that he got his car back. I don't know what shape it's in, but all the contents are gone. So
that's tough.
Yeah, that's stupid. I just hate that for him. But I think he got a top 10, like nearly a top 5 with a brand new bag. That's pretty good.
Just out of the top 5. So with a bunch of loaner discs.
With a really struggle in the second round. He struggled pretty hard in the second round, but yeah, managed a good last round to get himself right back there in the mix.
Yeah, I would guess the struggles are probably more than just the lack of having his frisbees. Probably a lot going on that dude's brain. How am I going to get to my next stop? Where's all my stuff? I mean, who knows how much stuff he had in that vehicle? Was he planning on setting up at a park in the next week and vending? So.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, couple all that with 20-mile-an-hour Kansas winds on a hard golf course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a good thing.
Or Missouri wins, I guess, for them. They're on the other end of the state line.
Look at that, boys.
Beautiful.
That's a really cool event, man. Is there post-produced coverage of that one? Because that's a fun tournament to watch.
The Silver Cup. I talked with Shasta Chris a little bit. He said there was a guy with a camera, but he doesn't know if there was post-production. Now it's in Wisconsin. I don't know if Terry Miller's around. I think he was at day one of Krokhol, but I don't know that I heard anything about him.
He was the ground guy, right?
Yeah, Terry was across the pond.
So yeah, I don't know that I heard anything about him after day one, but that's Lake Michigan right there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the little lighthouse.
Yeah, that's the lighthouse hole, which is very cool.
Yeah,
we used to get some post-produced coverage of this event, but I sure hope we got some, because it is it's a cool golf course.
I tried to give it a YouTube. I couldn't find anything more recent than 2022 was the last year I saw anything from it. So, but yeah, you're right. It's super cool. I mean, how could it not be cool? And looky here.
Oh, the best homies battling it out. How cool would that have been?
Yeah, look at that stretch for Kale. 10 birdies in a row. Came down to the last hole. Kale had a one-stroke lead. Somehow Tall Paul squeezed out a birdie and got him, tied it up, went into a playoff, and the short guy got him. So, yeah, I got that info from Shasta as well. That's why I reached out to Shasta to see what was there. I saw he was playing MP40. So I smoked Lucas in this one. I had an answer in seconds.
I hadn't even started.
You said Shasta was playing 40, not open.
Right. And after Lucas got the answer to Casey, I had it 3 times. I got it from Jose. I got it from Dick Parker. And I got it from one other person, Jennifer Allen. So I got it, but not as quick as Lucas. So here we go, baby. Lucas, how much of this did you catch?
I didn't get to catch a lot. I was awake for the women's round. So I did get to watch some of that because that's my awake window.
Yeah.
So I got to watch a little bit of that, but only the first day. But I will say, before we even get into this, can we just quickly sidebar and talk about how cool Ricky Wysocki's YouTube videos are that he does for these last 2 European tournaments? Because they have been awesome.
I'm hoping he puts a couple out for the courses they're playing this week, because this week at the European Open, they're not only playing the Beast, they're also playing what they're calling the Monster, which is another course. So we all know what the Beast is. We've seen it. But I would love to look at the Monster a little bit and kind of see how that plays out. So
are they playing that for this tournament? I thought that was for the next. Oh, okay, cool.
No, they're playing both of them. They're trying to preview them before Worlds next year is there. Is kind of the deal. So, I mean, I'm pretty certain they are. I can't say 100%, but I can say 98.5.
That's cool. Yeah, Lucas. We actually, Krokhol was a first for us. I know you popped in for a couple minutes too, but we kind of did a live thing for the first round, and actually that was a topic of conversation while we were chatting with folks in the live, was the practice rounds that Ricky has done, just the information, what we would prefer to see on something like that, kind of a look into the strategy and seeing how someone how a true professional really prepares for an event like this. They're awesome, dude. I'm with you. I hope he keeps doing them for every event. I won't watch Jomez unless there's just someone on there that I can't not watch. But I would watch one of these with Ricky at every event.
Yeah, I think he mentioned he's done it for the last 2 events and he got course records both times. So I think he's going to keep stringing those along. And I think what's really cool is, especially someone like me who's just really kind of just squeaked into the open field, it's just like he's thinking about things that I would never think about. And I'm like, oh, wow. It's just it's really insightful and I really, really enjoy him.
I just like the fact that they're just let's get it done type deal. They're not 3 dudes on there being silly. They're not nonstop talking. It's just Rick telling you, yeah, on this hole, what I'm going to do. And oh gosh, when that guy's throwing those putts in from 3 or 4 putts from 80 feet, I'm just like, get the heck out of here with that every single time. So yeah, but what an event, man.
Yeah,
and
beautiful course.
Whoop, spoiler. That live stream that we did was fun. I'm probably going to try to do it for the President's Cup this in the middle of the week. And I'll probably try to do it again for the European Open. And I know some people don't have Disc Golf Network Pro. I do. So I'm willing to invite people in and watch it. We can't stream it or anything, but I don't think they can keep me from. It's no different than me inviting you guys over to my house, I wouldn't say. So
yeah, as long as you're not showing the video, I think you're okay. So once we started thinking about this, I did go and look through the user terms on Disc Golf Network, and yeah, streaming something off of their platform does need express written consent. But like if you got it up and I got it up and we're in a room full of people chatting, I think we could certainly do that. And I know I had a pretty good time. I wasn't able to be there for all of it day one, but the time I was there, I mean, I had a good time watching with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we actually used the YouTube stream. So yep. I don't know if the regulation is the same for that or not, but I don't know how that could be any different than.
It's free, right?
Yeah. It's free on YouTube. So, So yeah, I think we're fine on that. We're not trying to profit off of it. So
sure.
They want to demonetize us. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just my channel. No big deal.
F you, YouTube.
Man, that 14 cents. What?
I don't even think we're getting that.
Woo! But man, boys, she's
back.
And she looked in control outside of the first round. She got a little, and I'm not going to lie or sugarcoat it. I only watched I watched holes 15, 16, 17, and 18 each day. That's about when I woke up. That's when I caught.
Early. Yeah.
And if I didn't catch it, I rewound to 15 because that is a really difficult hole for these ladies. So, and then 16, 17, 18 are all just fantastic. But yeah, she won it, obviously. Here's the top 10 ladies, right? Silva, yeah. right there in the running, but she just, Ronnie and I talked about this a little bit while you were gone. She just doesn't have that extra gear to get all the putts that the rest of them are getting. But when she gets in that circle, it's game over.
I don't think it held her back this week. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I think she out-birdied the field.
That last round, though, was rough.
Well, the last round was what the last round was. The wind was blowing. It was an absolute downpour for the majority of the round. The fact that Kristen was 6 under par in that round was ridiculous because I want to say Silva might have had the second or third best score at even par. So it was almost unscorable conditions, and I'm not going to discredit. Yeah, and I agree with you on most golf courses. This one, I don't feel like it really held her back too much. Some silly mistakes, a couple of you know how it is. You get the 1 foot OBs, and then they seem to breed each other, and then every time you're out of bounds, you're 1 frisbee out of bounds or something like that. She caught a lot of that, but man, she putted a lot too. Boy, she made a ton of putts like she always does. So, but yeah, Kristen has a gear that nobody has, so it's hard to judge that.
I don't know if we can really count this as a win for Kristen because Holland Hanley wasn't there and Missy Gannon wasn't there. Isn't that what we say about Kristen? When someone else wins when Kristen isn't there?
I'm counting.
But here's the thing. I think Silva's better than both the people you just talked about.
Mm.
Well, look in sixth place. There wasn't a lot of Americans there, but there's our top one.
Yeah. Yep.
Ella Hansen. Right. And what about this one?
Ooh. Paige in 13th.
Never a factor. Kristen beat her by 27 strokes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just flat out smoked them. So I pulled these out. I thought these were interesting. This is Kristen and Silva, and then I threw Paige in because, as far as I'm concerned, Paige is still the GOAT for women. It's getting close. Kristen, she's right there, but Paige has done things that other women have yet to do. But look at the spread. Look at Kristen and Silva both birdieing 40% of the holes, and Paige is 11. Right? And Paige at one time was the farthest throwing woman on the planet, basically. And, I know that she had her broken leg and that has slowed her down, but didn't slow her down at where did she win at?
Yeah, where was it? OTB?
Maybe.
It was OTB. Look no further. Look at that putting stat though. 60% in the circle. If you're in the, 60% C1X is going to hurt anybody. And I think that's 31% birdies for Paige. So,
how is it?
But 13% bogeys and 17% double bogeys.
Yeah. I included those stats on here somewhere. Or maybe I
just can't do it that much. And strokes gained, C1X, she lost 3 strokes on the putting green to the field, where Kristen and Silva gained 5.5 and 6.5 shots to the field in the circle. Yeah. So Paige's, if you look some of her longer stat, her more relevant stats like C2 and I think C2 and regulations maybe the most relevant stat to me, at least on the men's side. The women's probably C1X is a little more important, or C1 in regulation. But she's not having a problem getting it there. She just can't get it in the basket.
Yeah, not as well as the other two can, right? And all 3 of them are in that circle. Both circles about the same. Mm-hmm. Kristen, 12 more attempts from C2 over 3 rounds is quite a few attempts.
Yeah,
but she only made 4 of those, and Paige made 2 of 10. So. You're probably right. And women's C1 in regulation is probably the more telling and more important stat. And they're all 3 right about the same. But the other 2, if you go to the putting, they're capitalizing when they get there. So
Silva,
yeah.
You just look at Silva. Looks like she has a problem scrambling. When she doesn't hit the fairway, all of a sudden things get a little bit sideways, right? So, yeah, those are such good stats that they have on PDJ now that you can really dig into. And I love how you did this where we could compare player to player,
yeah,
and really see, hey, this is what happened. But look at Kristen and Silva compared to the field's tee to green. Those stats are a little skewed because you have some people at the bottom of the field that maybe shouldn't even belong in the field, but picking up 30 strokes to the field average.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and look at that very last stat on the bottom line. Paige almost doubled up Kristen's OB strokes, and a lot of those came on hole 15. She could not play that hole at all. I forget what she was. She was, I think, a double, maybe worse than a 7 first round, but yeah, that hole annihilated her. And at some point, don't you learn that, hey, the field's good now. I can't just go all out on every single shot. I need to play for placement. You look at somebody like Rick. That dude was in complete control of his game all weekend, and he threw mid-range off the tee on that hole.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And she's got to get it under control.
He did it.
This guy was under control.
Yeah, man. It was more impressive or not quite as impressive as Gannon Burr when he smoked everybody in Portland.
I would think it's more impressive because this isn't a course that Ricky's gone to numerous times. And just the way in which he done it, he didn't make a bogey all week.
It was incredible.
Never really even threatened making a bogey all week. I don't remember him having more than 15 feet for a par all weekend long. And I think he only took like maybe one out of bounds or two, something like that. He just he just whipped the field, dude. He was better in every aspect than any other player I saw.
He had one OB late coming down the stretch, the hole that everybody's throwing that spike hyzer over the trees, and he took the straight shot with the mid range. He went out, long left, which I think it was it was outside the circle, right at the edge of the circle putt that he had to make to stay.
You're right. There was that one. There was that one where he did have to make a putt, but I mean, just look at it right here. I mean, those stats tell you everything.
He's the scramble king, isn't he? He's always been that way.
He's got a gazillion shots, man. He led the field in birdies, obviously, because he won the tournament. He 100% scramble, led the field. Circle 1 in regulation, circle 2 in regulation. 80% of the time, this dude is in the circle putting 44 of 54 times. And for Rick, a 60-footer is a very makeable putt.
Yes.
It's just nuts. But then look at what his longest throw-in was.
Yeah. That's where I was going to go. He was in C2 a lot, but a lot of those were early C2. So, yeah. And that's why I think some of these stats are super. I think C2 in regulation is the most telling stat for the men, because it's how many times did I give myself an opportunity to score. Mm-hmm. And if Ricky's going to put himself in C2 80% of the time, there ain't anybody beating him any week ever. He's too good. He's too good of a putter. When he throws it that well, the fact that he only won by 5 is amazing because, that's a crazy stat.
Yeah. And it was so fun to watch. Now, Jakub, in my opinion, gave him a scare. Now, you think I'm trying to drum up drama, but this dude got to within 3 down and threw an OB and made a 30-footer, which could have very easily been only 2 down with 4 holes to go.
Man, yeah, but he got lucky to make that, to have a par putt on that hole that he went out of bounds. He should have been out of bounds 300 feet behind where he was. Look, man, it got to 3 with 5 holes left or 4 holes left or whatever. There was never anybody that was going to win that golf tournament but Ricky from the middle of the round Friday on.
Well, I never thought Rick was going to lose it, but I thought Jakub was going to give him the business coming down the stretch. And man, it was so fun to watch. Jakub that dude made some putts, man. And he didn't just make them, he fired those suckers in there.
He's certainly not scared of a comebacker.
No. And on some of those putts that he can coming like down the stretch, those humpback holes, if he misses anything on that, he's going to have a outside circle. But job well done by Ricky Wysocki, man. In my opinion, most dominating performance of the year. I'll give it the nod to Rick over Gannon because when Gannon won, you could throw the Frisbee anywhere you wanted.
Yeah.
And you had to throw the disc on the required line here.
All right, fellas. Awesome conversation. But let's move into a different segment. Top 5. And today, Ronnie, tell me what we're doing for the top 5.
Well, how could we watch the Disc Golf Pro Tour go play the #1 rated course in the world and not pick our 5 favorite holes from that golf course?
And it was no easy task.
And I wonder how many we're gonna have similar, because I think you and I talked about this yesterday. There was really like 17 good options. And really there was 18. There was just one hole that just clearly wasn't as good as the rest of them. But I mean, it was hard to do.
Well, I took our conversation and went back and forth between what we said, and I just picked the 5 that we agreed on. And I got a graphic for each of those 5, and we'll talk about what we liked about it. And I think I added some stats. So hole 8, hands down, best hole on the course.
I felt the same way. I compared it a little bit to hole 9 at Emporia Country Club. Just it starts in one place and kind of wraps around in the trees to out of the trees to back into the trees. This required 2 pinpoint shots to even have a chance to make birdie. And as we can see right there still wasn't very many of
them. The shot to get into the mouth of the tunnel was incredible. Mm-hmm. And then the shot coming out of the tunnel into the hill was ridiculous, man. You could have divided this into 2 and had 2 of the better holes that you've ever played.
Yeah, definitely.
They were both fantastic. My only critique of this hole is if you're left-handed on this thing, you got 0 chances. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they could take that long tee and move it to the right somewhere. But, I mean,
I think the straight shot was there to get to the gap. And then, but how you were going to access them, and other than, the best shot you could have would be a 50-footer, 60-footer. So it's pretty hard. And on a putt, you don't want to putt.
Yeah, you're not going to putt the putt.
Because that look from the top of the hill down that hill to that basket with the absolute abyss of the forest behind it. That was as scary as any putt I saw all weekend was watching guys putt from the top of that hill. So yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's certainly left hand or certainly right hand dominant for sure.
I'm not sure these stats are even I've tried to get them for the entire event, but that can't be right.
This is just last round.
Yeah, it's got to be just the last round. So, I mean, you can see even the last round, which was pretty good scoring weather for the men. 5% of the field got a birdie. So, but dude, we saw some shots, some of those second shots that these boys flexed out. I mean, because you couldn't throw Heiser. It was Heiser flex shot. And some of those shots, those guys nailed that sucker and sent it down that path. And I don't know how we didn't see it too.
Well, I also think we were getting to see the best in the field too. So, and it was such a long shot. I mean, those were full flexed 430, 40-foot shots going at that basket. And some of them were absolutely amazing. I mean, there was at least a couple times. I know Jakub really scared the basket. Bradley Williams nearly skipped one in on the first day. It was, I'm with you though. This was my absolute favorite hole on the golf course, from the difficulty of it to the shape and design. It's almost a perfect golf hole in my opinion.
And it was pretty. On top of all of that, it was a pretty hole. Okay, so hole 8, our second favorite hole. Hole 11.
You talk about beautiful. I don't know that I've ever seen a prettier hole than this in my life.
Yeah.
From one hot to the other, with an absolute forest in between you on both sides. You have a hallway, to throw a 500-foot par 3, and watching the guys pull it off, those shots were absolutely amazing. And then some of the ones that didn't pull it off, those were like, you could tell immediately when someone let go of that tee shot if it was going to be good or bad. And the bad ones were really, really bad.
Yeah, the one Rick threw round 1, that was one of the prettiest shots I think I've ever seen. That was.
I think was it the first round or the second round that AB nearly rung that hole up? again, this is another one, 7% birdie. So it was a super bonus. There wasn't near as many bogeys as what we saw on 8, but mostly because there was some pretty good scrambling as long as you didn't get really sideways. But man, this was an unbelievable hole.
Yeah, if you walked up to this hole at your local park, you would be like, this is the greatest hole I've ever seen in my life. But you just maybe played that 3 holes prior.
That's fair.
And did you hear him talking about these guys are all just maintaining this park themselves? 3 or 4 dudes?
Yeah. They have like
That's
4
incredible.
4 or 5 people, and they're volunteer only.
Incredible.
That's crazy. Well, on hole 11, boys, just so you know, round 1, it was birdied 14% of the time. Round 2, 12% of the time.
So they got it early, but not struggled a little bit late. But
yeah,
man, what an awesome hole. What about this? Yeah.
I mean, beautiful again. And this is another one that's so strategic. Like, you could really go dump, try to pitch over. But even when you pitched over, the basket was so close to water, you had to be right on the peg to really feel like you were going to make a birdie. Or you could do what some of the big arms did, where it's throwing it like 500 off the tee to get into that gap in the trees and then unload for the pin. And we watched AB go eagle, double. That's that was a testament to what kind of hole this was.
And Rick may have had the shot of the tournament on this hole. That drive was nuts, man, that last round. You could tell he was juiced. And I love the way that dude played it. He played it the same every time. Drop a bomb, hyzer out way left, because there's no OB left. And then chip over the corner of the pond.
Yep, he birdied it every time.
It was such a good, I mean, just aesthetically, obviously it's a beautiful hole. But like I said, the strategy was great too. I mean, look at that split. 33% birdie, 20% par, 17% bogey, and 30%. Is that 30% double? So the strategy was incredible on this hole. You had a hole that 33% of the field was birdie, yet it was the second most difficult hole on the golf course, and played over 3/4 of a stroke over par.
Yeah, when dudes were missing it, they were missing it. And we saw a couple of those late in this third round, which helped Paul McBeth vault up that leaderboard in a hurry there.
Oh, yeah,
last round. But yeah, this hole, fantastic. So sick. I mean, all 3 of them so far have been calendar holes for sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. No different here. No different here. The amount of this is one that I definitely would like to go see in person. I think we got a pretty good feel of that slope, that incline from the camera. But that climb that you make from the tee to this fairway, that thing is steep and it's high, and you got to really crush it just to get to the top. And then you play a green on a slope like that, which is wild. This was, I mean, like we said before, there's a lot of beautiful holes in this golf course, and the strategy is good on a lot of them. But this one's right up there with the best of them.
I think they kind of broke this hole a little bit this third round. First of all, though, let's touch on this tee shot. Not only is it uphill, like you said, but you have to turn the disc. It's not as straight as this picture is showing. You have to turn the disc as you're going up the hill, which is no easy task, as we've all found out. I mean, all that thing wants to do is hyzer out. But the last round, I saw several dudes who were in pretty good position just say, forget about it, and just hork it high into those trees. And most of them hit the trees and bounce back out. So I think they just felt like if I bomb it down there and I get through the trees, big deal, I'll chip out and get a 4. Versus if I try to put it on the pin and I come up short, I don't want that putt, I'm getting a 4. Or if I try to flick it into that hill, chances are I'm going to kick up and go down and end up at the bottom anyhow. So these dudes were just ripping that thing down there.
Yeah, it's a good one. That was a really fun one to watch.
Yeah. Join the club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fun hole.
Different kind of fun on 3. And maybe a hole we're a little more familiar with the style of it. But, it's only 312 feet downhill, which, as we know on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, is a half swing for most players or a putter. And this hole did a little damage to folks. It played at 312 feet. It played as the 3rd most difficult hole in the golf course. Now, the majority of that is because it's through a tunnel you could probably stick your arms out and touch both sides of, and it had the drop off to Narnia on the left side. And if anybody watched the last round, Vaino Makala found it.
Yeah, that was interesting that he didn't have to play it OB or take a stroke. It was just so far down the hill. That blue line right there was a relief line, and it wasn't much relief. But I would hate to know what that old boy would have taken had he went all the way down that hill to find that disc.
Well, he worked his butt off to, I believe he made 5. He worked his butt off to get the 5 he got.
He had a really rough round for a dude that finished 3rd.
Well, he started rough, but I think he got 6 or 7 under on the back 9.
6 under on the back.
Yeah, just really finished well. And we saw a lot of people make a lot of mistakes on 16, 17, and 18, and that really shook the leaderboard up. And I think, as we'll see in our picks and maybe our Survivor, it might have shook a few people out.
Yeah, I'm not talking about no Survivor. Now, these didn't make the list, man, but I don't think they made it because they're, with the exception of 15, they're all relatively short holes, right? So the other ones were like true testers. These are ones that you look at and you're like, man, I should get them. But hole 13, absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm. Hard. That was another one that really tripped a lot of people up at 315 feet. And not often do you see 3 consecutive holes on tour under 400 feet. And they weren't giving you birdies, any of them. All of them, you had to make shots or make a putt. Hole 16 was really, really difficult. Almost played like a really big island. And then hole 15, like you said, it was super long, and they could kind of take that like bailout shot early. But man, if you messed that up, it was going to be a long hole for you.
Yeah. So wrapping up on the course, the only one that I really didn't care for was the one that they were throwing the grenades over the top instead of down the pipe. That was the only hole that I looked at and I thought, yeah. And without getting the lay of the land, we don't know why that hole's there. Are they teeing off at the edge of a cliff and they need to get 400 feet to the next pin, so they jam a hole in there or what? But yeah, I still don't understand that over the top play. I mean, I guess Gannon had it pretty much dialed most of the rounds. Second round it bit him, but I think he got it first and third.
I think he still made it the second round, even though he kind of took a funky skip.
Oh, you're right. He did, didn't he? From way down the hill.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of them holes that I don't see what they're seeing, right? Part of it is that I don't throw that shot, so I'm never going to be looking up like that. But it looked to me like it's 295 foot uphill. The gap's pretty generous. The green's pretty forgiving. That should be for those guys, it should be a fairly easy, routine mid-range shot and a high percentage birdie. And it was one of the easier holes, but it wasn't as easy as I would have thought it would have been. I would have figured it would have been like a 72, 75% birdie rate for those players, and it just wasn't that high.
Yeah. I agree.
I think that was the only hole. That's why I said earlier, I think there was 17 really good holes to choose from, and that was the one that I was kind of leaving out.
Lucas, did you have a favorite?
I actually think I preferred 18 was probably my favorite of them. And did you guys see the stat on James Proctor that he went eagle to finish out? And it's the first time since with PDGA live scoring that someone's gone eagle since 2021, since PDGA started doing statistics on that. That's kind of cool though, right?
We more than saw the stat.
That's all I happened.
We were jumping up and screaming and yelling. So yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. Right on. So what do we got next?
All right. European Open, huh?
Oh boy.
Major.
We got some. So, but that's not happening yet. So we're moving in to a new segment. Weekly picks. Before we jump into European Open, we need to figure out, well, how did we do this week at Krokhol? Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Yeah, how did we do this week? Because, your boy over here coming in with 2 wins in a row, feeling real good. Let's see if, oh, God. You guys had them?
Well, remember that feeling because you're about to forget it real fast.
Yeah, so our stinks. You see who we went with. I was playing the odds that Matty O was going to have a bad round, and Ronnie went against Ezra because he didn't feel like he could throw it in the fairway enough, and you picked Eagle for some reason that we're not quite sure of.
He had a bad tournament.
And there we go.
Dang, red,
big red. Now, you almost got yellow. My dude had a rough last hole where he would have been on up there a little bit better. Dadgummit. But Ronnie had the pick.
Yeah, that was a great pick, Ronnie.
The muscles couldn't keep it in the fairway, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it definitely bit him this week.
Dang. So what was Matty O's average finish? You have that?
I do. Matty O normally average finish is 21st place, and Eagle's average finish is 19th. Now Eagle has a very abbreviated tour compared to Matty O, but still, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, darn. Well, see you later, guys.
There's 2 categories left. Hold on.
Ezra had 11 OBs, by the way, on the weekend.
That's not great.
Yeah, good call, Ronnie.
Okay, so Ronnie had that guy.
Who was that? Is that Lettinen?
Yeah, Larry Lettinen. Is that the boat guy? No, that's Carlson.
No,
the boat guy.
That's Linus Carlson.
These are like the Evan Scott, Evan Smith of Europe.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I did something that I said I would never do again. And boys, mark my words right now. I will never pick Joel Freeman ever again for anything.
All right.
Son of a gun. And Lucas went with Alden Harris, which I thought was a pretty solid pick.
Yeah, I just don't think he throws far enough for that course. And some.
How'd it shake out, though?
Yeah, man, Ronnie. Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alden let me down. I think he still cashed, but man, I thought he was going to have a good tournament in him. Like I was thinking like a top 30 for him, which I think would have got me maybe a win, even with, because I think he finishes maybe worse than Lori does.
He did not cash.
Oh, he didn't.
No. And
Just out.
yeah, 2 places out. And Lettinen, chew on this for a minute.
All right.
Last round, last 3 holes. Bogey, bogey, doubler.
Really? Or he would have been way up there.
Yeah, dude.
Dang.
Let's just say he goes par. That's 4 strokes. He shot 12 down. 16 down would have been T12.
All right.
And
Put that number.
Honestly, 16, 17, 18, all fairly easy.
Scoreable, but punishing if you don't find the right spots off the tee. Yeah, I think which like you said, that's why we love that golf course so much, is it puts such a premium on finding the right spots. And yeah, managed to not do it the last 3 holes, but hung in there and got the kid a W nonetheless.
All right, so Ronnie has a real chance to go green, green, green for the first time ever.
We've never had a 3 green.
Ronnie had a chance until he found out.
Whoops.
Until he found out some bad news when we went to make picks last week.
I forgot all about that. We had the same pick.
So Matteo and the Beast.
Oh man!
Wait a minute.
I don't know why you got it red.
Why did you get the red?
Wait a minute.
Wait. Now I remember why I gave you the red. Because you got the curse.
This is accurate. Yeah.
Beast was a great pick, though.
Now I accept it.
Yeah, Beast. Although he still doesn't look like the Beast, played pretty solid, man, and didn't give up. Didn't just go ballistic on things and kept it under control, and didn't get the stroke doubler like he has been getting all year. So just played solid, and dudes in front of him coming down the stretch struggled, and he moved on up, and he got that right. Cool.
Yeah, dig it. All right, well, let's make our picks for the European Open.
Yeah. We'll let you go first, Lucas, since you're back.
Yeah, losers first. So let's go. Where do I want to go? You know what? Let's start with Shine, because do y'all remember who I picked for my stink this last week? Do you guys, we learned that just 2 seconds ago. Who did I pick?
I forgot.
For your stink?
Yeah.
I am I supposed to remember all the bad picks you make?
God, dang it. No, but I picked Eagle. Well, he's my Shine this week. So you know how I like to flip-flop every time.
Smitty is feeling the wrath. I think he's potentially feeling the wrath of a curse here.
Oh, no.
Hashtag curse alert.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
No, go ahead.
I need a minute.
All right, guys. I feel like it's time. Calvin Heimberg gets his first major championship, European Open champion.
I'd love to see that.
I'd be happy to.
I'd love to see that. You're going to call me a cheater. You're going to think I switched, but I didn't. It'll be obvious on my next pick as to why I'm so upset with Lucas right now. But I went with the Iceman. I think that dude is incredible.
Gannonberg does have a major championship. I guess he won a
USDGC.
Yeah, he won the US championships.
Yeah. So, and he's been in the mix every single tournament. He's never out of it. The Beast suits his game very well. What course doesn't suit his game very well? Like I said, we don't know about the Monster yet, but yeah, I mean that's my pick this week.
I mean, you gotta like it, and yeah, if we didn't want to just be repetitive or boring, you could pick Gannonberg as your Shine every week and almost never look dumb.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go with my sleeper.
All right.
Then Young Bird. I went with Eagle as my sleeper because his average finish is 19th, and I think he can win.
All right.
Well,
yeah, he can.
I thought he could win.
Yeah, he can win.
He had a great chance until about 3 minutes ago.
I'd be surprised if he finishes now. So.
he might stub his toe.
Speaking of Eagle, before you go, Ronnie.
Sure.
What'd you guys think of Wind Dragon? You saw it, right?
So go on to my pick. No comment.
All right. Fair enough.
I'm going to go with a guy that I think I've taken him in sleeper a couple times this year, and he's burnt me both times. But at some point, he's got to.
Like the way this sounds.
He's got to wake up and find himself in the mix. I'm going to go with James Conrad.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I agree that I really want him to play well. I love James, but man, that's.
I think you'd be surprised at the most recent finishes. I mean, I know we talk about him not being very good. 22nd at Champions Cup, OTB and Portland, not good at all. But in the money at State Preserve, just came off an event at Swedish Open just a couple weeks ago that we watched, Smitty, where he was really in the mix all the way to where he just had a bad back nine on the last round and finished 18th place. So it's not a very
ballsy pick.
It's not completely off the wall, and we know he's a good player. And I think this is a good course. The Beast, at least, we don't know anything about the Monster, but the Beast is a good course for James Conrad.
42nd made the cash at Krokhol. So I'm going to go to Wind Dragon for a minute. I still don't know if it's real.
Like, do you think it's like you think he was being like, I know he was being silly, but do you think he was doing like it's silly to like and thought it was cool, or like it's a complete parody? That's where I don't know. Like, is he just being like, is he just trolling? I don't, that's what I don't get. I don't know if it's like he did it for like, he wanted people to cringe, or like he thought it was cool. And I don't know where he thinks it is. Does that make sense?
I think it's the latter. I think he's just a weird enough cat that he thought it was good. And dude, Drew Gibson made this look bad. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess I should say Eagle made Drew Gibson look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awful. Just terrible. Just a waste of 90 seconds that none of us will ever get back.
It was more than 90 seconds.
4 minutes, dude.
It was 5 minutes and 1 second, and I watched the whole thing 5 times.
Well, it might be time to reevaluate.
I was trying to figure out if it was him singing or not, first of all.
Was it putting the girls to sleep? I don't understand why you would watch. I didn't even get through the whole thing.
I just kept watching because I was trying to understand, like, was he being serious and thought it was cool? Like, I was really trying to decipher, and I like that it's completely different and that he's basically being true to himself is what I think. But yeah, you're right. He's kind of a weirdo. But
let's move on.
Let's move on.
No more Wind Dragon time.
Okay.
You brought it back up. I blame you.
All right. So we're on sleeper, right?
Your sleeper.
Yes.
All right. My sleeper is going to be someone that just played pretty well and played well at this tournament last year. Top 10 finish. And we're going to go with Vino Makala. Yeah. You can't hate that.
Can't hate that.
You can't hate it, but he just inspires no real like awesome reactions from anybody. I don't think, other than Smitty sent a meme earlier saying he was Vino Makakeith or something like that. I'm just saying, he's certainly more alive than Toby Keith, but I still never saw, even when Toby Keith was around, I never saw him in the same place, same time. So
You never will.
reincarnated or something. I don't know what it is, but it was a striking resemblance.
That leaves you, Ronnie, I think, to lead off on the stink.
Well, I'm going to take a guy who seems to always play well, and I don't know how. And he's just one of those guys that when you watch him play, it doesn't look great to me, but he finds himself in the mix a lot. But I'm gonna fade him this week. I'm gonna go with Matt Bell.
Okay. That'll be hard to judge where he stinks because
Yeah, I think he hasn't played well all season.
I think you'd be surprised.
Well, let me tell you.
he's always going to be in it because he's putting machine. But
Yeah, he is a putter. This year, Ronnie, I'll do this right now. He averages 45th place.
Well, that's odd because he must have. Are you only looking at Pro Tour events?
Yeah.
Well, he's only got one. He's got two finishes outside of 45th place. Now, granted, those two finishes are.
Did you see the finishes?
Well, one of them he didn't even play. It was a didn't finish at Dynamic Disc Open.
Preserve too.
He gets 107. You know,
what about
both of those are he didn't. Yeah.
Preserve
and DDO or
Preserve he was late, walked up through a hole and left.
Oh, okay. So interesting. Okay. So if you take those out, then all right.
Who are you going with there, Stinky?
Well, my Stinky is going to be someone that could be a Roadhouse potential, depending. Probably not, though, but he did have a bad tournament. He left because of some personal stuff, and I've been on this. Like, I think there's something going on with the guy, and I'm going to choose for my stink Ezra Robinson.
I think you're safe on the Roadhouse.
Yeah. I mean, but he could still finish very high up there, but I'm hoping this week he just decides not to play well.
I'm in real jeopardy again of Roadhouse.
Well,
I'm not a chump. My guy could win this dang thing very easily. But I chose him for one reason. He hates flying and he's never been here before. Chris Dickerson.
Okay.
I thought that it was weird he was on the registration list because I know he doesn't like to make that trip to Europe. So
he never flies. So do you want me to pick another stink in case he chickens out?
Yeah, just in case. Was that a robot chicken joke?
No. I wish I was that quick.
Not intentionally.
I wish, but no, I mean,
pick another one just in case. Because I
think he'll be there.
He'll be there.
All right. Well, Ronnie is.
Was he on the President's Cup team?
No.
Don't believe so.
Ronnie has no chance of buying us Roadhouse with his pick, so good choice, Ronnie.
Matt Bell's won some tournaments.
He's not won that one, and not with this type of field.
Not this one, but he has won, and he is a multiple-time world putting champion.
Yeah, he's a great putter. Great putter.
I mean, I think you'd be surprised on Matt Bell's. He's one of the ones you might not think about it, but he's a little more sneaky than you give him credit for.
All right, that's fair. I will say, when I hear of a course called the Monster, I do start thinking that Matt Bell is probably a good pick because I don't know if he's a real good distance guy. So, but yeah.
And the Monster is longer than the Beast. It is I looked at both courses. I couldn't tell anything because it was just a hand-drawn map, but it is definitely longer than the Beast. I don't know if it's tighter or whatever or not either. All right.
All I heard was that it was supposed to be Simon and Eagle proof.
Oh. All right.
Whatever that means.
Well, let's jump into the European Open. Happens on what days that start? Thursday or Friday? Friday?
Well, let's talk about
because before that, this week we have
President's Cup
and the President's Cup. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's spend a little time talking about that because I think that's going to be almost as much fun as the actual tournament. So here's our format. Okay, we have our teams, all of them picked by fan vote except for one, which was picked by captain's choice. Or not fan vote, by ranking, I think. And the interesting thing is the captains do not have to announce their rankings until 1 hour before the event. Okay, so group one will be whoever your first two players are, then your middle players, and then group three will be 5 and 6. And there's just two women, so they'll be their own deal. Okay, so phase one, just normal disc golf. Best shot on holes 1, 3, 9, 11, 16, and 18 at the Beast. Normal disc golf, you win, you score the points, which we'll look at here in a second. Phase two is match play. Same holes, same tournament, U.S. number one versus Europe number one. Here's the point breakdown. So what's all this mean? What this means is Seppo and Yuli and Yona and Kyle Klein and Henna and Paige aren't playing unless something happens. They have to be on site, but they're not playing. So they have to pick who's their number one, who's their number two. And I think the Euros definitely have the leg up in the women's division. Here's where I think Yuli needs to think strategy. And I don't know if he will. Right? Who's going to beat Kristen out of those two?
Neither.
Exactly. Who's going to have a better shot against Evelina? Maybe neither one. But if you had to put money on one of them to come through in the clutch, who are you going to go with?
I mean, certainly Missy, but I don't know. I think they're better at both positions.
I agree. But I think if you're going to have any shot, you got to put Missy against Evelina. I think Ella could come out and pop a good one and beat her. But I think Missy's going to be steady and more reliable. I would think if you looked at him head to head, I guess Missy has probably beat Ella more times. I don't know if she's beat Evelina more times, but there's a good chance that Europe's going to take us on the ladies' side pretty hard.
Yeah.
It could end up that way. Yeah. And, match play is different too. So Evelina is not someone I would be real comfortable using in match play.
Because of her putting?
Because she just doesn't putt very well. I think Team Europe would be unbeatable if it was Kristen and Silva. Silva would be an absolute monster in match play. Never out of a hole.
Yep. But in the individual, though, is more points, yes?
No, there was a combination of both. Oh, you mean how the format?
Yeah, it's 28 points versus 24 total. So maybe, I don't know. It's only 4 points difference. I don't know how that works, but whatever.
Yeah, but that's for the whole event. That's the amount of points available. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Each match is just one.
Okay. Makes sense.
So we'll let you finish your deal, and then I'll give you my thoughts about the event in itself.
And then we got the men's side, and if there's an advantage on the women's side for Europe, I think that USA has the advantage on the men's side.
All right, Smitty. Well, tell me this, Smitty. If you think Team USA has the advantage, can Team Europe do anything? So if you're Seppo, what can you do? Kind of opposite of what we were just talking about with Missy and Ella. What would you do to help Team Europe in this if you're matching people up?
Well, that's the beauty of it. We don't know what Yuli's going to do. Is he going to rank? Is he going to put Gannon Burr number 1 and Calvin number 2? If that's the case, I'm putting Albert and Mari against him because nobody's going to beat those two dudes.
I think he would split those guys up. I mean, he's just putting them in slots. He's not really. They're not ranking them per se. They're just putting them in positions. I think Yuli's seen the Ryder Cup enough times that he can draw on some of that, some of what he's seen there. I think he'd be smarter than to put arguably his two best players together.
Well, I don't think the only time they're ever together is when they're, I think this.
The best shot, right?
Yeah, I think round 1, you have your two best against their two best all in one pool, and the best gets 4, the second. So best gets 4, second best gets third, then 2, then 1, I think, or 3, 2, 1, 0. Not sure what it is. So, yeah, right here. Lowest score gets 4 points, second gets 2, third gets 1, fourth gets 0. So the 4 of them will go out together. And the match play is just match versus match. So it's not exactly the Ryder Cup format.
Well, we'll get to that. If you're playing any kind of doubles, though, why would you?
Oh, they're not doubles. I'm pretty sure it's best shot. They're playing their best score. Maybe I'm saying the wrong thing. I'm pretty sure it's not doubles. You're just playing 9 holes versus them for 9 holes. Like it's that 9-hole tournament, I think is what it is.
So it's just the 4 of them are their own like mini tournament, is what you're saying?
Yeah, that's the way I'm reading it. I don't think they're doubling up.
Oh, okay, then I misunderstood. When it said best shot.
When you said best shot, that sounds like doubles to me.
Well, maybe it is. Individual best shot.
That's just a weird term.
Individual worst shot?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that be the same thing? It's just weird. And weird. I see where you're going with it now. So you're just in the pods, right? You're in a 4-person pod, and you score that way depending on how you finish. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
if that's how it is, I like that better than what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think there's less strategy in it that way, though.
Yeah, just randomize it, right?
Yeah. When you have the 6 players that we have going out, does it really matter what they're in then?
Right. Their men have a very low chance. I mean, Nicholas, Simon, because Vino just beat us.
Jakub.
Yeah. But
I know you see a huge advantage for the Americans. I don't see the huge advantage for the Americans. I see one guy who I'm really afraid that's not healthy, in Eagle McMahon. I see Paul Macbeth, who in spurts has been fantastic, but in others has been pretty not great. Calvin Heimberg, Gannon Burr, Ricky, and AB seem to be automatic. But the only weak spot I see in Europe's entire team is Albert Tom, and that's because he won the fan vote.
I don't know anything about Maury Villeman.
Very good.
You're saying he's very good, or it's good that somebody doesn't know about him?
No, he's very good. 1031 rated.
All right. That was very quick that you got that fast. All right, cool. Didn't know you had a Maury poster on your wall.
He's in the top 20 of everybody in the entire European Open as far as ratings are concerned. So.
All right, that's fair. Yeah, he's better than. I truly don't know him either, though.
My thing about this is I wish they were playing the other course.
He's rated higher than Jakub Semerad.
Wow. Yeah, it's on the Beast.
Okay.
So I'm excited about it. I think it'll be fun. Lucas, what do you think about it?
I'm very excited to figure out exactly what's going to happen. So, yeah, once they kind of explain how it's going to break down, I like stuff like this, though. I think it's exciting, but I like different things. I like different formats that are unique and that you don't get every tournament. You know what I mean?
Ronnie?
Team events are fun. Playing for your country would be incredible, right? It's a dream for most of us. This is a terrible way that they do it. It breeds no excitement. From the way they pick the team all the way to the format that they use. They have an opportunity to be like what the Ryder Cup is in professional golf. And I think to a man, everybody who competes in those events would tell you that's the most important thing they do every other year. And this is going to be 2 9-hole rounds on a day, and everyone will have forgot about it by the time the first round kicks off in European Open.
Yeah, I could see how it could use some marketing. And
it just needs to be its own event, not a one-day thing that we only do it in Europe.
Yeah, more of an afterthought.
It's the day before an event, and they play it at the same place they already played the event. So it's just, I mean, it's a great idea. You have a just use the Ryder Cup. It's been going on for 100 years.
Well, I've never seen this in the past. How often do they do the President's Cup?
Every year.
Okay, for like a long time.
It's perfect. So you're only proving my point.
I know. I get it. 100%.
It's an afterthought, and it's not. It shouldn't be, and I guess that's where my frustration with it comes. It should be a huge event in our sport, and it's just like I said. By the time we get to the second round of the European Open, who will have remembered anything of what happened? And the United States has never lost it too. That's another problem.
Well, based on what you've said and telling us how good Maury is and Albert's the only one that's bad, this might be the year.
It could be. I mean, we talked about this last week. It's possible.
If Team Europe wins, does this become less of an afterthought and something that we're not going to forget about after the second round of the European Open?
Potentially, but until the format changes, until they make something out of it, until it becomes its own entity, I don't see how it could be.
Yeah, you're probably right. If they could move it off of this weekend, maybe do this instead of the All-Star thing.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe so.
I mean, because that really gets the Europeans involved early too, right?
Yeah, I don't think any of them came to All-Star.
Exactly.
It was just another little thing, and yeah.
That's a great idea.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll bet he's kind of shaking his boots, though.
You don't want to be there's a lot of pressure. You don't want to be the first captain to ever lose. I'm pretty sure our buddy Emac, he captained a U.S. team at the President's Cup a handful of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow! Ain't that something? All right. Well, I guess let's move into our Survivor League. Yeah.
You want to talk about this?
Oh, tell me about this. What is this?
This is the big news out of the Beast. This is the hole that cost Anthony Barella the tournament last year.
Oh, yes.
It was played as bunker last year. You had to come to rest on that small island when you crossed off of the big brown part. This year, the worst you can score is a 5. You can throw a B off of the tee, move to the drop zone. So now you're throwing 3. You can miss the island. So now you're 4 at the second drop zone, which is looks like about a 35, 40-foot putt onto the island.
So why?
You'd be throwing 5 from the second island, though. From the second drop zone.
3 out, 4, 5. So a 6 at worst.
Unless you put it out of bounds again.
You're not going to do that.
Which you're probably not going to. But yeah, it's a 6 last year. Anthony Barella is your champion.
And from what I'm understanding is it came from the PDGA because this is the only place that used that rule. And once again, we're preparing for Worlds to be in Finland next year on these 2 courses, and that's the way they're going to do it. I hate every bit of it. I think this hole was fantastic the other way. I think it struck fear into the players the entire time. It's no different than hole 17 at USDGC.
I was going to bring that up.
And yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I love the change. I definitely don't love the way they did it. I do think that at some point, do you really want to see someone once you get past the second Frisbee? I mean, that's the difference in this is rather than like golf or something like that, every golf ball is identical. In our sport, it's not that way, right? We only have one of each one of those in most people. There's going to be some slight variances, obviously, but once you get past that second or third, and that's what happened to Anthony last year. Once he got past that second disc, he didn't have the right disc for the shot anymore. Now you just want to just sit there and watch him throw 7 or 8 or 9. I don't think anybody liked seeing that happen. I would have made a staggered set of drop zones. This is drop zone 1, this is drop zone 2, and then maybe a third drop zone closer to the green. But this is something that is not foreign to what the PDGA has been going to for, at least the last year or 2 of drop zones being way more friendly, and the chances of having huge scores have gone way down. I'm here to tell you, I don't think we're too far in the future from seeing something similar than that happen at Winthrop on hole 17.
I'm guessing probably this year. They're setting precedents here. They'll probably have to carry it on to there. Now, here's my question. Can an Anthony Barella type now just go nuts off of this tee pad and run this green?
728?
I think there's too many trees. I think the way the trees are, I can't remember, but I think those trees to the left of you would pretty much prevent you from being able to take a crack at the green. But yeah, why would you not try to throw?
God, that would be disgusting if that could happen.
Way up there, though.
Because he's 1 out, 2 at the drop zone.
30 from the drop zone.
Throwing 3 from the drop zone. 4, 5.
My guess is you have to proceed to drop zone 1 first, right?
Well, that's
any throw from the tee, it says. Yeah, that's a good point.
But still, I mean, is that labeled how far it is from the drop zone to the green?
I don't see it on there, but here's I guess to your point, Chris, and this is why I definitely think there'll be people looking at it. There's going to be guys trying to manipulate a way to get there because, I mean, at most you're talking about a 3-shot difference between playing the hole absolutely perfect to throwing it out of bounds twice and laying up from the second drop zone.
And yeah, I don't even know if it's possible. Like you said, the trees and whatever else.
I don't like having a minimized scoring spread like that, though. That's why I don't like drop zones next to greens. It just not because it eliminates the big score. I don't mind that. What I don't like is that now the guy who plays it perfectly isn't rewarded in the way that he should be.
Mm-hmm. Guess we'll see.
It'll be interesting. 16's always interesting. Man, that was
What do you think would happen if you asked both of these guys what they thought of that new rule change?
You probably wouldn't see a response. Neither one of them probably give you a response.
No, let's say they're your buddy. You know them, your friends, and you just go up to Anthony and you say, "Hey, man, what do you think of that change on 16?"
Sure would help last year.
I don't think he likes it. I think he tells you he doesn't like it that way, being changed.
Information that would have been useful yesterday.
Right.
Well, yeah. And there's no way he likes it because no one else can have what happened to him happen to them.
And
I don't know if that's why he wouldn't like it, but
that's why I wouldn't like it.
I
want someone else to suffer.
I don't know, man. Maybe you're right, but I think that moment has, as much as anything, made him what he is today.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Look at the other way. I like that.
That was the lowest point in his disc golf career, guarantee you. And I think he just used it as motivation. And
well, he said as much, right? He said that it was fuel all winter long for him to become a better player. But once he got out there on the practice, that was it. That first tournament, it was over. It was behind him, and we've seen what he's done. So in that respect, I think you're probably right. I think that's a moment that he'll learn to. While it was tough in the moment, it's going to be something he'll remember as the turning point in his disc golf career.
Something we're all going to remember.
Yeah.
Oh, show. All right. Well, I think it's time for look at Survivor.
Yeah, I've been excited for this one.
I don't know. I think we're up against time. Catch you next week.
Let's start like we did last week. Let's look at the champion. And we know who that is. Rick just dominated, like we said. And Rick was a one-person pick. Tyson Macias, who's playing for free this time because of his terrible pick last time.
Mm-hmm.
Picked Rick and moves on. The boy's alive.
Also, Tyson just won yesterday $500 on the scratch off. So congratulations to you, Tyson.
Way to go. I've never won squat on those damn things. I don't play them enough. So our second best finisher of our picks, Little Nick, was a very popular pick with survival people. I mean, people were on Nick like I couldn't believe. Schmidt stayed alive. Patsy, of course, stayed alive. Cooey staying alive, which gets us to 50-50 here. 3 of us leaving, 3 of us staying. Anthony Barella. Oh, Sean Baltzor had Little Nick.
As well. Okay.
All right. So, Anthony Barella. Who had Anthony? Yeah. I can't believe you didn't pick Cole. You haven't taken Cole yet in Survivor.
No, yeah. I'm trying to survive.
So that means we're down to 3. 3 of us are gone.
Yo. First down.
We were watching the whole time. 9 holes to go. We're talking. We got a shot. We got a shot.
And this is one where I kind of got beat into. You guys always make fun of me for my shine and my Survivor never matching up. So I was like, and I had Nick circled as who I was going to take last week, and I was like, you know what? I'm taking Maddie as my shine. I'm gonna show these guys I can take the Survivor at the same time. This is why I don't do it. Right here. This is why I don't do it.
Yeah, and it came down to the last hole. 2 holes to go. We were both pretty confident we were getting in. And then he bogeyed. And then we were still confident we were going to get in. And yeah, we're out. This is how it feels, Ronnie. It's pretty fun, isn't it?
Man, this is the first time I've ever
not made the finals.
Been out of this thing before it ended. This is the first time. This is the first time. Well, I'll put it this way: this is the first. Next week will be the first time we make pick, and I don't get.
I didn't hear you. Cut out on my end.
I think he's frozen. We'll have him say that again.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back, but your video's not back. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I was just saying next week will be the first time that you guys make picks that I won't get to make a pick. So I'll probably just cut out after the picks of the week, I suppose.
Do that.
Well, I'll tell you this, boys. I don't think anyone could have predicted that I would be the remaining win dummy survivor at this point. So it feels good to be here, and I'm really hoping to represent you all well.
You can call us up. Well, call Ronnie up for your pick. You don't want any
I already have it. I already have it. I'm actually going to give it today. But before we do, who'd we lose? Who is that?
The most underrated player on the tour.
Napoleon Dynamite?
K2. Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Was not a great week for Kyle.
No, it wasn't.
25th. 25th isn't. Obviously, it's a good week on tour, but not for Kyle Klein.
No.
And Schaefer won last time, this Survivor. He's out. Ugh.
Yeah. So, all right. So my Survivor pick for this week, I'm going to go ahead and give it now. And I'm kind of feeling a little bit of the same pressure that Ronnie felt, that I wanted to make my shine match my Survivor. So I'm going Eagle on the Survivor after picking him as my stink last week. So this could really turn around and bite me. But after that win, Dragon, I think he's ready to win. Dragon. The sound of your phone, Smitty, it made me really feel like Ronnie has left the chat. Immediately.
I actually don't think Eagle's a bad pick. I mean, the last time he was here, he and Paul Macbeth put on a absolute show. Right? He didn't play last year, but 2 years ago, he beat Paul, and they were the only two that were even close to each other. Everybody else was.
He was 12th place this week, and we got a lot of the studs going to be there starting next week. I don't think Eagle's quite there just yet. Not as someone that I would pick, not as the fourth, not when you basically have the entire field left to pick.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to win Eagle.
Yeah, I couldn't choose. Yeah, I've only chose 3 people, right? So I couldn't choose Rick, Gannon, or AB. And yeah, so Eagle was my number 4. I could have went Vinny or Niklas. But yeah, I'm going Eagle.
Or,
anyone else.
Or
Chris Dickerson.
Don't pick him. He's gonna stink. No, I don't dislike the Eagle pick.
I don't hate it.
Hey, y'all, I need you to root for me because I'm gonna give you some of the money.
Oh yeah, go Lucas.
Go Lucas. Yay!
Yeah, there we go. I'll pay for your support. It's fine.
How about if you win the Survivor League, you take us to Roadhouse with your winnings?
All right, that's fair.
Boom. Go Lucas.
I'm all over that.
And if you guys win, you'll do it back to me, right?
No, you have no shot with me. I'm never winning.
I think we all know that I'm not going to win either. But man, let's Fingers crossed. All right. I think that's it, though, boys. That's our show. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else, Dad.
Ooh, what a doozy. What a good show. It felt good to be back, just kind of sitting here, listening to you guys. It was a lot different, having to listen to the recording and editing it that way and not being there while you're doing it. But wanted to say thank you both for the shout out for the girls that you did on one of the episodes. I showed Kendra immediately and she really appreciated it, and just thought it was really awesome of you guys to shout them out. So appreciate y'all.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, and Smitty, I must say, in my absence, you're really good at this. You want to start doing it all the time?
What part?
Just like running the show, moving stuff around. You were awesome.
Yeah, I know, but I don't really want to do it. And
at least you're humble about it.
I'm about 3 weeks out from not having time to make slides and organize that. So
I guess that's true too. Yep, it's not far.
Yeah,
all right, boys.
My vacation is quickly ending.
Yeah, well, I luckily got some time off from work, so I got the next 5 weeks off still. So, yay! But it doesn't seem like time off. I'll tell you that right now. I've never worked harder in my life.
No, I'm familiar.
Yeah, Ronnie, I don't know how you did this, bro, because this is different. I came in thinking I was ready. I wasn't ready.
Yeah, but you adjust quickly, man. 60 days from now, you're going to be like, this is just, it's just what you do now. So
yeah,
you'll get there quickly.
Yeah, we got the routine going down, so we're starting to feel pretty good. But boys, it's time to jump into our final segment of the show, which is the 19th hole, which is the greatest shot of the Krokhol Open. You're going to see that right now. Until next time, we'll see you. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Peace.
James Proctor now throwing 2 on 17. Big drives off the D for the bunch.
Oh, no way! It's in! James Proctor throws in for the eagle on 17. Oh, just buried. He's in! Yeah, run it back with Zuka replay. Come on now.
And there's hazard all around. If you miss the basket, you can likely skip over. Doesn't matter. That is on the pole. James is attacking this green for the eagle. Got the driver up, finding the stability.
And he gets... Is he putting for... No way, James Proctor. He's in. James Proctor takes the eagle.
Come on, man. Back-to-back eagles.
You are not... You got to be kidding me. This is unbelievable stuff. Straight from Norway.
He's enjoying his time now. Unbelievable stuff for James Proctor.